Alright, hey yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my Gacha gamers chat? It's the first of the month, so of course that means you either play some Bone Thugs and Harmony, or we are going to watch the Gacha revenue chart. Chat, this is where all your favorite games get judged by numbers that are probably made up. You know, people are going to cope about Wuthering Waves, probably not making as much, and I'm going to cope about Zelda Zone Zero also not making enough, because chat, we are very fair here. We make fun of everybody. Everybody gets it. That's the only way to ensure harmony amongst the communities. Make fun of everybody. But chat, I'm already going to cope immediately because Rememento White Shadow, chat, this is actually a very, very good game. I just wish it got the proper love and launch that it should have gotten on global, that I thought it should have. Right, I actually really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a ton of fun. In my opinion, it could have competed with Honkai Star Rail, but it didn't have the launch that it should have. I don't think it is EOS exactly. It is going to stop, though. I think they're putting it on pause for the global, and then they're going to relaunch it. However, the next one, Tribe 9, is end of service. I think the servers are down now. Unfortunate. I would hope that we can kind of see it come back as a full release game. This game was not meant to be a gacha game. I don't think so. I think if this game releases as a full-fledged game, it will be a very good game that gets a lot of love. Black Beacon, I believe, just announced EOS, which... yes, they did. They did. Black Beacon, in fact, did announce EOS, which is such a shame, I think, because Black Beacon was something that I thought was just going to really have a dog in the fight, right? You know, the two new games that should have made more of a splash did not, which is Black Beacon and Rememento. Black Beacon was going to be sort of a modern, not modern, but, you know, a more updated PGR, or at least I would have thought so. But it was just plagued with, in my opinion, it was probably an unlucky timing, right? Because around the time Black Beacon had a controversy was actually the day that we have Labor Day. China has Labor Week. And they are, I think it's government mandated, so they are not allowed to go in. So nobody on their team was allowed to go in and talk or do any work. I think, I hope, and then the game was on Google Play. The controls barely worked. It was just such a bad launch. And we can learn from these three games, Rememento, Tribe 9, and Black Beacon. I'm harping a lot about them, chat, because they're just games that should have taken over. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, we have to lay two of them to rest. Rememento, I believe, will come back. I don't exactly know. But I'm just coming here seeing if anything is worth talking about. Girls Frontline making $68,000. Doesn't matter. Because it is going to make all that money back on the next game when it shows up here. We're just going a little bit. Lord of Heroes, Summoner's War is a game that has been going on for who knows how long. Tower of God, again, I should read it. I don't. Sword Art Online, Mormons, Honkai Gakuen, you know, one of the Honkai games. I think it's one of the first Honkai games. Yu Yu Hakusho Slugfest, actually going half from 500k to 260k. I wonder how this game is doing. I hope this game is doing okay. I hope it's doing fine, right? I just want this game to do well because I am a huge fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, chat. If you guys have never watched that anime, I highly recommend it. It is one of the best animes ever made. You know, it's up there. It's up there with like the old school animes, right? You have your Yu Yu Hakushos, you have your Cowboy Bebop, and a whole bunch of other ones, Trigun, stuff like that. You know, Yu Yu Hakusho falls under that. So if you haven't, I recommend watching it. You know, it's very good. Tower of Fantasy did not get higher pay. I think their new server came out to abysmal review. I was going to try it, but I guess no one else is trying it, so I mean, might as well not even try it. Doesn't matter. NTE will come out and will save this company because I am going to be there. I'm going to play it, chat. They needed your boy. Unfortunately, Tower of Fantasy couldn't hold me. That's okay. It's not really a big deal. It happens. Your game flops. What can you do? This game should have died a long time ago. I don't even know who still plays that game or who buys whatever. You know what? It's fine. It's not a big deal. Super Robot Wars Double D 400K out the gate. It's not bad. A Japan only release. You know, we see a lot more of games that are coming out that we don't really talk about. Don't really talk about. We just don't really see. Like, I think Mobile Suit Gundam was a game that nobody would really talk about, but it's doing pretty decent, right? You have a lot of, obviously, right, because, you know, the East is where all these gacha games come from. You have something like this, Robot Wars, Super Robot Wars, that just comes out in Japan. No one really talks about it. No one really knows about it. It happens. Silver and Blood still going pretty decent. I don't know how big this company is, but, you know, almost $1 million last month, 750K this month might be okay. I don't really know. It's still going. Hey, if it works, it works, right? Snowbreak Containment Zone from 1 mil to 850K. Snowbreak Containment Zone has always just kind of teetered around this point, so not too bad, right? This game is always this game is actually very, very decent if you've never played it. If you guys wanted a Gooner game with pretty decent gunplay, I would recommend Snowbreak Containment Zone. You know, I don't know if I recommend it on mobile, but I do recommend it on PC if you ever just want to play a game like that. Tears of Themis, if you are an enjoyer of that, this is like Love in Deep Space but tamed down. Honkai Impact 3rd. I don't know if this was their Elysia patch. I don't exactly know. I don't play Honkai Impact 3rd. Eminence of Shadow, gotta watch that. Idolmaster still going from 300K to 1.2 million. That's a pretty big jump, actually. That's interesting. I don't know if this had some kind of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Anniversary or something, but here we go. Another game similar to what's it called? Snowbreak Containment Zone. We got Brown Dust 2 still going strong. These games will never get like the higher pay range, but they will always be consistent. I will give them that. I think Girls Frontline 2, Brown Dust 2, and Snowbreak Containment Zone, they stay very consistent, right? Mahjong Soul from 5.3 million to 1.6 million. I guess Pippa, because she has been very busy on what's it called? On the new game. We'll see it here in a second. Not really playing this game. Arena, I don't know if she's playing it. You know, they probably don't have the power of Phase Connect behind them right now. That's totally fine. Maybe next month we'll have Pippa going into the negative again. Destiny Rising, 3.8 mil to 1.7 mil. And this is the game that is up for... You know what? I'll give it to this game. I think this game had a very decent showing from what I've heard. Like, people who've played it were Destiny players playing this game. I heard it was decent. So it being up for mobile game of the year, I guess that's cool. The Sonic game is nowhere to be found, so I guess it's not a gacha game. Is what it is. I don't know why I thought it would be, but hey, I never even heard of it. Hey, we got Solo Leveling Erect at 2.2 million, pretty good. Limbus Company, from 3 mil to 2 mil, not too bad. Still hanging on strong. That good old Limbus Company. The very niche community, always holding down that game, which is very, very respectable. I think that's very, very cool. Slime, Isekai Memories, I don't know what that is. Fire Emblem Heroes, Limbus Company, and Solo Leveling, and Slime, all making it exactly $2 million. It's pretty funny. Etheria Restart, I do miss the game, mostly because of the designs. I was not a big fan of the dailies because they felt like they took too long for a game that does dailies. It was just too complicated in my opinion. The Ethereum Restart from 8 mil to 2 mil, I feel like it's gone out of the limelight. It's what it is, right? PGR from 900K to 2.2 million. I have not been keeping up with this game. I kind of uninstalled it until I get my SSD, and then I can put it back on my PC. I am running out of space insanely fast, so I need to get an SSD so I can keep up with all these gacha games. Like I have CZN and then Stellar Sora, that's what it was. So I'm really running out of space here, so But PGR, it's still a very consistent game. You know, everyone's caught up to global, or global's caught up to China, which means that not as much pulls. That kind of ruined my mood a bit. But you know what? That's totally fine. Persona 5, Persona, the Phantom X, 2. I feel like I get it, right? So I do get that games don't need to make a lot to be good. However, if you're going to nominate this game as a mobile game, a top mobile game, it should at the very least have the numbers to back it up in terms of revenue. The combined for Phantom X. I'm just saying, after the patch with the Jonkler, everybody dropped this game. I don't know who's really paying for this game. Let's see. Japan, Korea is not really messing with it. Global, this is probably America. Yeah, it's probably on the backs of mostly Japan. I don't know, man. I don't know. Man, I really want this to come to global. If this comes to global, I'm playing it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Overdrive has from 4 mil to 2.6 mil. It's pretty decent though. Girls Frontline 2 Excellium actually going up. I don't know. Man, I've seen so many posts about this on Twitter. I think this is actually on an anniversary. I'm not entirely sure. I believe it is, and if it is, that's probably where the that came from. What do you call it? The anniversaries typically do very, very well. Shining Nikki. I don't know, man. Is Paper Games getting it together? Someone's gonna have to tell me that. I really don't think so. But you know what? Maybe someone's gonna figure that out. Anyways, Wizards variant Daphne, the game that now at this point, it went from the game that everyone talked about but nobody played, has now gone to the game that nobody talks about and nobody plays. So that's pretty, that is what it is. 2 mil from, okay, so this is a pretty good game. I will say, it is a very, very consistent game when it comes to revenue, and I heard it is actually a very good game, but I never understood why it was like that, but no one really decided to play it. Like, no one decided to push this game. It stayed where it was. Everyone talked about it, but that's why I called it the game that everybody talked about, but nobody played it. I would always go and check on this game, and it would just be 2 people with 2 views. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Stellasora from 3.8 to 4.0. Sakuna is pretty much paying for this game out of his own pocket the way that Pippa plays it, and we'll see how the other ones go. I know Cleo is probably going to be playing Enfield, so Sakuna, as the head of the new top English VTuber company, probably going to be paying for a lot of these new up-and-coming gacha games. Stellasora is showing of that because Pippa will not stop playing this. Disney's Twink Wonderland from 5.3 mil to 4 mil. Chat, to let everyone tell you that Twinks don't sell. Memento Mori, one day. 3.3 mil to 5 mil. Azure Lane, this one's off the back of probably Kirsha. 5 mil to only dropping about 100K. It's not bad, this game. Azure Lane, one of the original, I don't want to say one of the original waifu collectors, but the most well-known waifu collection game that everyone really talks about. Onmyoji, I saw this earlier. I think it was only at 50K or something like that. But the global release, or the combined release here on Onmyoji, 5 mil, very, very consistent. 5.8 mil to 5.8 mil. Not too bad. Reverse 1999 from 7 mil to 6 mil. That is still very good. Still very, very consistent. That's very, very good for this game. This game has probably been popping off. Dragon Ball Legends, also Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Paradise. I think this was the one that copied FGO, which if you were going to copy a gacha game, I don't know why it would be that one. Unless you put Auto Battler, I don't want to hear it. Dragon Ball Legends from 7 mil to 7.3 mil. I don't really know what's going on in Dragon Ball Legends. If you showed me what happens, I'll probably know what's happening. Bleach Soul Resonance, a new contender starting off at 8 mil. Okay, that's a pretty good release. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. But you have to, for a game like this, I don't know if it's just going to be a card battler or something like that. That's kind of the thing that they constantly do with these anime IPs. it's a very how do I say this? It's a very mobile-esque game, right? It's a game you would imagine when you think mobile game, right? Before all the Genshins and all the Wuthering Waves and everything coming out, you would think of mobile games. I think Bleach is probably in that style. Or maybe not. I would have to check it out for myself. We have Infinity Nikki. Maybe it's doing well. Maybe not. I don't really care. I stopped checking in on this game after Infold just screwed everybody over. Zenless Zone Zero actually dropping below $10 million. I think this does include Dial-In. Okay, so this should have Dial-In, and I think Yadhari. The beginnings of Dial-In and the end, and pretty much the whole of Yadhari, which is pretty disappointing, right? Because Zenless Zone Zero, yeah, I mean, it's never going to EOS, right? They just made 3 new games. Why would they start EOSing their games, right? Hoyoverse obviously could just power these games. If Hoyoverse shut down Genshin today, the amount of money it has made will probably power the rest of the games for like probably another decade. And that might be without them making a profit, right? That's how much Hoyoverse has. So it does suck to see Zenless Zone Zero not get, in my opinion, the recognition that it needs. I mean, honestly, it didn't even get voted for a mobile game of the year, which I think it really should have, because it is probably Hoyoverse's best foot forward until the release of probably Varsapura or Honkai Nexus Anima, or maybe even Petite Planet. I don't really know. We have this is Mandarin, so this is Chinese. Yeah. So it says right here CN. Duh, CN. So CN is mostly the one paying for it, of course. Here's global question mark. I think global pays more. I can't really do that math. It's probably even. But, Zenless Zone Zero. Hey, I'm trying to get Dial-In right now because I love her. And the your phone ringing meme, very, very hilarious. Chaos Zero Nightmare. This game was actually in controversy because people were complaining about the story, that it was revolving around I think the boy in the game was getting too much attention and people wanted the story to be rewritten, and they are rewriting it. So it kind of sucks, but it did hit 10 million, and this is a breakout hit. Like, this is what I thought. Actually, you know what? Let's put it like that. This is what I thought Rimamento would have been like on release, right? It made a huge splash. It got a lot of people talking about it. This game is very, very good. The gameplay is very, very good. So if you haven't tried it, I do recommend Chaos Zero Nightmare. I haven't played Stellasora, but I have played this game, and I can say that this is a very, very, very good game. So Chaos Zero Nightmare, a brand new. It beat out a Hoyo game. It beat out a Hoyo game. Not too bad. Not bad at all, right? In its first few months. Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, up to 12 mil. I don't know who would have came out. Probably can he beat Goku though? FGO, Grandpa, still keeping up with the young kids. He is what he is. Wuthering Waves, never breaking. Maybe one day it'll break 30 mil. Probably not today. Chat, who do you think is gonna be the one to cope about this patch? I feel like someone's gonna tweet about it. They're gonna be like, "No, this made more. No, they're messing with the numbers. No, this game made more. Like, no, bro, your game does not make money. This game is in the toilet right now. This game is dog shit. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. The game outside of the story and the characters is absolute trash. Endgame's awful. The events are basically non-existent. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. But this is off of Chisa, I guess. Like, this is mostly Chisa's patch. Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Mostly Chisa's patch. Chisa, waifu slop, didn't make any money. I'm not surprised. I think I think Chisa wasn't that great. I'm kind of looking forward to 3.0. I know what I mean, I just want Lucia. Everyone else is kind of whatever. Especially that one girl who has like the bike like Malvika. I don't really care. Genshin Impact from 56 mil down to 20 mil. Ooh, that is quite the drop off. This would be off of who was on patch? Was it Flynn's patch? I think. Men don't sell, chat. What can I tell you? That's okay though. Goddess of Victory, Nikkei, just had their anniversary patch. Their third anniversary, 24 mil, doing pretty good. Released a few new pilgrims. Didn't get any of them because I used all my gold cards my gold tickets that I saved up to redeem as many Red Hoods as I can, because I said when I fell in love with Red Hood that I would, and the day came where she was actually reran. I'm very surprised, and I did it. I got her. That's all I know. And I also redeemed a what's her name? God, I don't remember her name. Modernia. Boy, that was a mistake. Uma Masume, Pretty Derby, was their half anniversary. God, there's so much that happened. They have so many banners in one patch. It's kind of hard to really say. But 16 mil to 28 mil. This is the game that is going to win Mobile Game of the Year. It's not even close. This game has an actual cultural impact. Wuthering Waves could only fucking hope, but they can't because they just don't. It's fine. Love and Deep Dick actually falling under 40 mil. That is very, very rare. They typically stay within the 50 to 60 mil range, and they actually got to 30 mil. That is pretty rare. I know it sounds kind of weird. Wait, they made 30 million in 1 month? Yeah, that is kind of weird for this game, Love and Deep Dick. This game does stay very consistently making a lot of money. Pokemon TCG Pocket, I don't even want to consider this game a gacha game, but it's here, so whatever. 41 mil, I don't really care. Arknights from 26 to 41 mil. I don't know what's going on in this game right now, but I am very excited for Arknights Enfield. I know it is, people have talked about the gacha, but is the game good enough to survive without the gacha? Because we have a game like Do It Night Abyss that had a lot of people praising it for having no gacha, and now nobody's talking about it at all. They played for it for maybe a week. So chat, whether your game has bad gacha or good gacha, it doesn't mean anything unless it could stand on its own without that mechanic. Even with bad gacha, I believe Arknights Enfield will do very well. But for right now, Arknights saving up a little bit of pocket change that they could use to improve Arknights Enfield. Not mad at that. And so rank 1, because we haven't talked about it, of course, is going to be Honkai Star Rail with 81 million off of Cyrene. This is almost another 100 million month. Last time they did that was with Kevin. They're only 10 million shy of Kevin. So Cyrene making a ton of money. Everyone wants to complain, but no one wants to put it down. So Honkai Star Rail is again at the top. You know, Love and Deep Space struggling down here, but Honkai Star Rail, I knew when they really pushed Cyrene that this was going to be the top game. Honkai Star Rail, although I do not cover it as much, is kind of the powerhouse for Hoyoverse right now. It kind of switches off between Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. What is it called? Zenless Zone Zero. Honkai Impact Third, unfortunately, just have to ride their coattails, which I think sucks because I think Zenless Zone Zero actually outperforms every Hoyoverse game in terms of quality. But it is what it is. Chat, that is your November Gacha revenue report, chat. These numbers are all real. Never question it, and just accept it blindly. Chat, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.